Time for a moment with the mayor, and first of all, of course, Mayor Heather Colberg, thanks for taking the time to do this with me.
Thank you for asking me.
Let's talk a little bit about Festival of Lights. Of course, we're into December now, getting ready for Christmas, and what a great kickoff for our community for the Christmas season, lighting the tree, all the events that were involved. It was just a really good community event.
Yeah, it was so special, and you know, we even got that little bit of snow, so that was nice. I just cannot thank the people enough. Like, there's a committee of just a few people that really take this and own it and bring this to the community. And then you got the addition of Public Works and the events planner and volunteers and all the sponsors. None of it would happen without the sponsors. So thank you to everybody who got involved. And it was just, it's such a wonderful thing to get into the Christmas spirit. And then the number of visitors that came was incredible.
Yeah, there was, I would say, easily 1,000 people downtown to kick off the Christmas season, and it was just nice to see that many people in town.
Yeah, I love Christmas, and of course I love Festival of Lights. So yeah.
So the reason we're doing this is kind of to clear up some of the maybe issues that people have been noticing around our community to give a little clarity. So we're going to go through a few questions here about different topics that people have been talking about pretty well for the year of 2023, and just kind of give a little bit of insight into what's going on. So we're going to start off with a new feature they have over at the cemetery. Last summer, I think it was, we had an opportunity to unveil the new scatter garden, and it's an interesting opportunity and interesting option for a lot of people that may not know that this is available to them.
Well, thank you for the easy question. The scatter garden is such an important thing. I mean, it gives people an opportunity to. Not everybody wants to be buried or put in columbariums or this kind of thing. And in research, we found that there are these scatter gardens, and they're great for a few reasons. One, it gives people opportunity for another option. Two, it's very cost effective. I mean, you know, unfortunately, it's very expensive for burial. And three, it just allows that whole ability to extend our cemetery. I mean, we do live in the valley and we don't have a ton of space, and this just gives another opportunity to extend it. So yeah, it's nice. I wish people go down and see it. It's right beside the columbarium, and it's very nice. I thank you again to Public Works for the work on that.
Yeah, what I really like is the white sand that's there. It's kind of really brings it back to almost our environment that we have here, the Badlands and things like that. So it's kind of cool that we have that option.
And I always tell my friends, I said, that's where I'm going, so let's get together and we'll be together for the rest of our lives. So yeah.
And an exciting event that you and I are both involved with, Rails to Trails, is the project continues to move forward. We were excited to have the first section that's paved. Now Section 2 is open between the 19th Street and Rosedale. Progress continues.
Yeah, progress is, carrying on, and thank you to, so many again that have got involved and helped us with getting it set up, getting the design, Reg Gallagher and his team for doing the Rosedale section. There's just, and the sponsors, we've had a ton of people come forward and contribute, and, whether it's $25 or, 100,000, doesn't matter. There's a tax receipt for everyone, and our goal is to really hopefully get as much of the trail again done this summer. The section between Liquorland and Dollarama is in this year's budget to get paved, so that that'll kind of complete the center of town. So it is a big project, but with all the support we're getting, it's been huge help.
Well, I know a lot of people are excited about the bridge as well, and the town is working together with Alberta Transportation in regards to that.
Yeah, the bridge is a little bit complex because, of course, now with safety and environment and all these regulations that you've got to meet. So it's been a bit of delay there, which is frustrating for all of us. But again, we're pushing forward and hoping to have that done again as well this year. But all these things take time, and we've got to follow all these regulatory things. But it's exciting, and without all the sponsorship, it wouldn't be done.
And that's what that's the important part, is the support from the community for this project. We've talked a lot about, especially involved with the Rails to Trails, about how to memorialize people, have some memorials and things like that. We've got a number of memorial benches through our community. Those are still there, and they will remain there, but there's a different option.
This is, and when you go along some of our trails, there's bench after bench after bench, and we're trying to figure out a way to really still give people that ability to, in memory of somebody. But this way you can do it through the Rails to Trails program. And we're going to have a really beautiful donor wall that will have all the names and everything listed. So I hope people consider another option. And we're working on something pretty cool on the benches that are going to go along the trail and hopefully work within the tree carving program and have some really cool designed railroad benches and stuff there. So there's a lot going on, but yes, we would love support, and you can do support in memory for the Rails to Trails.
Yeah, the best thing about the wall is you have 50 characters to put whatever you'd like in regards to in memory of someone if you want.
Exactly, and there's the friends of the Rails to Trails. For $1,000, your name goes on the board for the in memory, and then we have the $5,000, the bronze, silver, platinum, gold kind of thing. But if for $1,000 we can get on the board, and that's really what a bench costs by the time you buy the bench, put the plate, get it put in place. So this is another great way to help our community and still put memory of your family.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's continue on. We're getting into the meat and potatoes things, so let's talk a little bit of flood mitigation. I know it's been a gigantic project for our community. We're working in conjunction with the province and the federal government to get this project done. It's probably been a stressful time for yourself as well as council to watch the project go, but it's good to see the progress come.
Yeah, obviously it's a complex problem, and I can tell you when I ran for mayor in 2017, I wasn't like, I want the flood program. However, when you get here, you continue the work that has been done by previous councils and administration, and it is a good program. I mean, it's a complex program. It's hard. There's no doubt about it that, you're adjusting with people's lives, and so it has been hard. I guess for me personally, Jason, the one thing that kind of really reiterated was when I understood the one and done, and if somebody's home got damaged, you get up to $500,000, but if it got damaged and you claim the $150,000, you don't get the balance. Like, you're done, you're one and done, and the worst, it goes on the title. So it's really important that we get this project completed, we protect our community, and we can move forward into the future. And the work that's being done, by all the companies involved, it's showing that it's coming along, and all these things. I say it's just like a renovation. You kind of got to tear things apart to put them back together, and they're starting to come back together, and it's nice to see.
I agree. It's really cool to see the progress. Especially, I love the new retaining wall at Riverside. It's just one of those unique pieces we have here in Drumheller. Let's talk a little bit about housing in Drumheller too. There's been a concern for a lot of people about affordable housing, about even housing in general. Our market right now seems to be really, really hot, and lots of people are looking to move to our community. What's council doing, or how is council working on trying to mitigate that?
Well, first off, I kind of get frustrated in this world in ways because you've got to always create strategies and processes. But we had to create a housing strategy to show that we needed, to be able to apply for grants, to apply for things to make a difference. And so we did apply for grants, got the housing strategy put together. We created a builder's package. We have entertained these things with some developers, and people are looking at it to see if there's a way that they can get involved in building here, and it is a problem. We know it's a problem, and so we've taken down a couple old properties, the old hospital site, the old consortium, to help develop space so developers can come in here. So we have had some interest, and we're hoping that a lot of that comes through. We did sell Elgin Hill, which is another area that's looking at a big development. And again, things take time, and we're trying to put in as many incentives and all these kind of things that we can to encourage developers, because we're going up against the Airdries, the Calgarys, where it's a lot easier to mass build. So it is tough, but we're plugging along. So I'm excited, and we're working on our short-term rental program policy as well, and that hopefully will put a cap on, so that we're not losing so many houses to that as well.
Excellent. As we continue on, the biggest thing is we're looking to generate some income from the people that visit our community. And an option that the town is looking at, and that council's kind of approached the Royal Ontario Museum about, is the parking lots at the museum. Can you kind of explain what's going on with that?
Yeah, okay, so now you're getting into more difficult ones. So let's talk about paid parking. So paid parking come along because somehow we have to offset the cost of tourism to our residents. We have 8,000 residents but 4,000 taxpayers. And the carrying the burden of tourism is hard on our people. We've got to deal with water, sewer, roads, sidewalks, garbage, bylaw, public works. There's a lot of costs involved in having tourism, and we're grateful for tourism. Let's be sure, let's be clear, because it's wonderful for our businesses, our restaurants, hotels, gas stations, retail. So many benefit from tourism. So it's a wonderful thing. But we, as council, we're trying to figure out how do we not have to have these 4,000 people carry the burden. So that's how the pilot project of paid parking come in. Now to the extent of the museum, we've tried in the past to work with the province about adding $1 to the admissions at the museum, and that $1. So if they have 250,000 people or 500,000, $1 comes back to the community. That didn't go as far as we were hoping. So now we're attempting to ask them for their parking lot. The parking lot and the overflow, because again we will orchestrate the whole project. There's no cost to the province, and like I always listen to them and they say, bring us an idea but bring us a solution. We brought the idea, we brought the solution, so now we're waiting and hoping that we can work together on this, because we get 500,000 to 750,000 visitors a year. If we could get $1 out of each of them, that would help our community, it would help our residents, it helps so much. So, we're not putting it in to be difficult, we're trying to help our community, help our people.
Continuing along those lines, we're talking a little bit about the monitoring of paid parking. So how much extra is the cost of actually monitoring the paid parking project that is planned to be happening at the BCF, at the world's largest dinosaur, and a couple other parking lots here in our community?
Well, right now we at the Hoodoos we pay a tenant to be there to take the $2, and that's how this all started. We tested that site, and we realized that there is money to be help offset costs with the parking, and so basically that person will just end up floating into more of a general looking around. So we're not adding a bunch of costs in doing this paid parking. We got the signs, and so really it's not with the way the world is now, you don't need the meters, you don't need somebody going to pick up coins, you don't need all of that. But again, it's a pilot. We gathered a lot of data over that month, and administration is bringing that back to us, I believe, early January, so that we can make some decisions and get things organized for the spring, and that's when it's going to kick off.
Continuing along those lines as well, let's talk about downtown now. So the downtown is not part of this project. So just to take care of some of those misconceptions, downtown parking is not going to be part of the project.
No, it started out just really Hoodoos, swing, suspension bridge, the spray park, fountain, kind of where the visitors go. There's nothing no paid parking downtown at all. So if you go to the bank or the grocery store or the drugstore or the post office, no, there's no paid parking. And then we don't control any of the anybody else's parking lots. So let's be clear, no, it's not downtown.
Well, that's good to hear. For a lot of the people in our community, that's where the major concern was, for sure. We kind of went over this a little bit, but the purpose of the paid parking we've kind of touched on. Let's talk a little bit about the pilot project and how it involves the surrounding counties, communities. It kind of spurred on a conversation.
Yes, it kind of opened Pandora's box, I say, but in a good way. There's a lot of people. See, we're one of the most unique communities in Alberta, because a lot of communities like Stettler, surrounded by county of Stettler, Strathmore's surrounded by wheatland, you get Old Sundre, they're all surrounded by Mountain View. We're surrounded by a county of wheatland, county of Starland, special areas, and Nehill. And nobody really owns us. Like we're just kind of in the middle. And in most cases, the offset with the counties is to help with recreation. And in our case, because there's only a few in each area, I actually had a meeting with the Reeves, and I thank them all very much just this past week. And we're talking about how do we work together, because it isn't, how I explained it to them is, I had a resident in the county very upset because the pool is a controversial topic as well. And trust me, as council, we're not happy when, and neither is administration, when the pool goes down. It is frustrating. It is an older infrastructure, and it costs millions to build a new one. So anyways, the person was very upset about the pool down, so I explained to them, we're trying to figure out how to do this, and paid parking is another way to try and gather funds to pay for some of this stuff. When we got talking about, she says, well, I pay my $6.25 to go to the pool. And I said, well, how much do you think a resident in Drumheller pays? And she said, $6.25. I said, no, actually they pay $6.25 plus 30% of their taxes go to recreation. And I think after that conversation, she understood it's not that we love our county people, our residents. They volunteer, they donate, they contribute, they support the businesses. This was no intent to ever create animosity. It's just actually opened a different, this was about paid parking for tourism. It just kind of happened to be that, the world's largest dinosaur, the fountain, the spray park are all by the pool, by the arena. So it kind of opened up, which is okay, some of these things we got to solve these. But we're so grateful, we work with our counties on emergencies, fires, so many other things. So we're pretty blessed with, and we've worked hard, our council, myself personally, building these strong relationships with the county. So no intention to ever create chaos. And we're just fortunate. Yeah, we've had great discussions, and we're going to see how we can work together.
Well, hopefully it moves forward in a positive light for both the counties and ourselves, because, of course, as a taxpayer in Drumheller, if they can help, fantastic. A little bit doesn't hurt. The last one we're talking about is a lot of people may watch council or attend council, and then you're asked to leave, or you have to have a closed session. So can you kind of explain why council goes into closed session? I know you guys try not too often, but it seems like it's been going on a little bit right now.
It is, and it is a very complex. Unfortunately, when you're talking land, legal, or labor, you have to have closed session. And when you're in the middle of a flood program with so many properties you're dealing with, expropriations, this kind of thing, we have to go in closed session. We're not allowed to say people's names, or if there's a labor issue, we're not allowed to, these things are complex, and it's part of the Municipal Government Act that we have to make sure that we're respecting people's privacy, and that's why in these cases we have to go in camera, and I know I do get it is frustrating, because the last thing when I'm reading that agenda, I don't want to ask for a motion to go in camera. However, when there's a lot of this whole term and part of last term, there's just a lot of land issues that we have to deal with, and it's private matters for people, and we have to protect their privacy.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to provide some clarity, because that's the biggest thing. We try to talk about it about in a story and things like that, but it's nice to actually be able to have a sit down with you and get some of that clarity.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your questions, and I guess it's so much fun. Although it's hard, as you said, some of the projects are hard. I love being mayor. I love working to make the community better, and I love working. We've got just such a great administration, and all the people through infrastructure, public works, water. It's exciting to see the changes, and I do remind people we still are in the middle of a bit of a renovation, and it's exciting what we will. Our term is still just under 2 years, and there'll be a lot finished, so I'm excited.
And not a lot more changes coming, but there'll still be some changes coming.
Oh, we still got 3 or 4 more berms to finish, so there are still some changes to come.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for the time, Heather.
Oh, thanks so much, Jason. Take care.